Chico and the Man will not be presented this evening, and the Rockford Files will be seen 1 hour later than normal, so that we may bring you the following special program.
Word Balloon is brought to you by the League of Word Balloon Listeners. Coming to Kickstarter from the mind of Franco, the man behind Teen Titans Go to the Library, Faye and the Moon, and All Yeah Comics, comes the new LXT, the adversarial fighting card game, live now on Kickstarter. LXT, Lux vs. Tenebris. Imagine a loved one has been spirited away to a land of terror and torture. Would you be willing to go after them and fight through a horde of acolytes of the Dark One just to get them back? Developed as a role-playing card game that can be played multiple ways. The cards will have full-color illustrations on the front and chock full of stamps and moves on the back. You can also get the LXT Who's Who book with origin stories and information about all the characters. Still want more? Also available is the LXT Dark Atlas book, filled with prose stories about all the baddies and illustrations from a wide selection of comic artists. There are plenty of add-ons you can purchase separately, like comic books, stickers, original art from the game, and more. It's going to be a howling good time. LXT, live, now on Kickstarter. Welcome back, everybody. It's time again for Word Balloon, the comic book conversation show. John Suntress here, happy to welcome back Paul Cornell, and first-time conversation with Rachel Smith. Welcome, both of you.
Hi.
Thank you very much for having me back, John.
Now, Rachel, are you in the UK as well?
I am, yes. I'm in Manchester.
Oh, outstanding. Oh, I truly, it delights me to talk to people across the ocean and get the Europeans on in general, but always happy to talk to the Brits. So, and Paul's been on many times. Very excited for this new book that you guys are doing together, and what a great subject. Who killed Nessie? Outstanding, man. Pretty neat. Rachel, you're a first timer, so I want to make sure you get your words in and stuff. How did the two of you get together?
Golly, I think Paul and I met at a comic show called True Believers in Cheltenham back in, I'm not going to say the year, that probably a lot of years ago. Been pals ever since. And we actually collaborated for the first time on Kieran Gillen's comic 24 Panels. Paul and I worked on a story about cricket, and we had such fun on that. And then afterwards, I think the two of us really wanted to work on something bigger, so started talking about kind of stuff we could work on. And
And we also did Doctor Who.
We also did Doctor Who. I forget about that. Yeah, how could I forget about that?
A comic, a Doctor Who comic.
Rachel did some of the backup strips in my Four Doctors comic for Titan.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, very cool. Oh, that's great. Oh man, all right. Well, good then. Good. There is a good excuse to slip in some Doctor Who talk. I didn't want to presume, because obviously when Paul comes on, I want to talk Who, but I didn't want to, again, because you got you, Rachel. I didn't want to minimize, you, but you can obviously join in the conversation. So tell me about some of your other comics, Rachel, before this.
So I'm kind of mostly known for autobio stuff. I do a lot of autobio mental health kind of stuff. Like I did a book called Quarantine Comics during the lockdown. I did a book called Wired Up Wrong about how I don't think my brain works properly, and things like that. but yeah, I've also done Doctor Who. I did the humor strips for the 10th Doctor for 3 years. Yeah, I'm known for kind of warm humor and things like that.
We can kind of presume that, obviously, from I'm assuming this is your cover, obviously, for Who Killed Nessie.
Yes, yeah.
So Paul, where did this story start? And tell me about the story.
Well, I also want to mention Nap Comics with an X, which is Rachel's current work, which is the most charming thing on earth.
Thank you, Paul. Sorry, yeah, I've just come from putting my own baby to bed. We were talking about children earlier off mic, but yeah, I'm a little bit. Well, yes, I do Nap Comics, which you can find on Webtoons.
Oh wow!
Autobio comic about me being a new mum and constantly exhausted. So yeah, sorry if I'm a little bit tonight.
No, not at all. I sympathize, and no, that sounds good. I'm definitely going to ask you about Webtoons in a second, but tell me about Nessie. Paul, what was the inspiration behind this story?
Well, Rachel and I were talking about stuff we wanted to do together, and Rachel had always talked to me about yokai, Japanese monsters, mysterious beasts, cryptids, and we were talking about what we might do, and we just sort of conjured up between us the idea of the murder of the Loch Ness Monster, and we wanted to do a whodunit, a proper murder mystery. And so what this is about is there's this convention of cryptids, an annual get-together of the mysterious beasts every year in the Great Lakes, because they need a big lake for the big lake monsters. And all the like fairies and Yeti and Bigfoots and stink apes and the Yowie. And they all gather, and all of the human staff leave the hotel before this happens, except they have to leave somebody. So they leave the intern, Lindsay Grockle, who doesn't know what this is, and is woken in the middle of the night by the Beast of Bodmin Moor, who is a talking cat, who tells her that the Loch Ness Monster has been murdered and she has to solve the crime. And because that she's the only one that the monsters all trust. And she may not believe in them, but they believe in her.
Does this take on a almost Peter Wimsey sort of drawing room, going down the suspects sort of mystery and stuff? Almost an Agatha Christie kind of Orient Express kind of thing, right?
Definitely. Yeah. Well, none of the cryptids can trust each other, so they go to the only human who is, impartial. So she has to do it. And I love this kind of meeting of the mundane, this kind of, oh, I forgot to put mints in room 13, meets this kind of just hugely mythological, like, where do you even begin with this? Yeah, there are literally fairies at the bottom of the garden now, and she does not know how to deal with that. I love it.
You talk very well, Rachel, about Lindsay, about her skepticism. Do you want to do a bit of?
Yeah, Lindsay's my favorite character. Lindsay's like she's kind of the most boring one because she's the only human in the story, but she's the one I feel a real kinship with. She's just come out of a breakup. She's she's feeling very vulnerable. She's very skeptical about, her, the person she's just broken up with was very whimsical. He believed in fairies and stuff. And she was like, get out of here. I don't subscribe to any of that. And she's just taken on this new job in this rundown hotel in Scotland. And suddenly she's faced with the fact that not only are fairies real, she has to now help them solve a murder. And it's this she's really thrown into this new world that she's not ready for at all. And I love her very much.
So if this were an X-Files, she'd be like the Scully of
for sure.
No, that sounds great. That's excellent. No, and God, I mean, the idea itself, you'll forgive me because obviously we want the comic to succeed, but it almost lends itself to an area that you're familiar with, Paul, and that's audio drama. I could see, and I mean, certainly it'd be wonderful to have the budget to show all these cryptids at once and stuff. And again, that's the beauty of comics, that you can do it on this scale. But God, yeah, I don't know. Again, my mind immediately goes to, I can imagine a great radio cast kind of providing the voices for the cryptids and everything. Is that something you guys would consider?
Well, that's kind of left field. I mean, we can see them in a comic. Although Bob, the Beast of Bodmin Moor, the talking cat, does have my own natural accent, because I come from the West Country, and I'm putting this on. But every now and then, once I'm relaxed, I will just go into my natural accent. It's a bit like this. Oh, what you be doing? I know. And Bob talks like that. It's sort of the pirate accent, because historically pirates came from down there. So that's the Long John Silver accent. And but him, since he's from Bodmin Moor, which is down in deepest Cornwall, or Devon possibly, he speaks with that accent. So that would go down well on audio.
I love it. I'm it's so funny. You keep learning about more and more legends and these cryptids from other places. And in fact, even the Bobman that you're mentioning, it's the first I'm hearing of that. I mean, I certainly know Nessie. I know Bigfoot, the Yeti, certainly, being Doctor Who fans and all. But yeah, it is interesting. Did you do any research beyond the legends that you knew of, like Bigfoot and Nessie and the like?
Well, I've been inured in this stuff since birth, reading scary books under the covers about unknown creatures. So I did sort of have to refresh myself a few times, but honestly, I'm a library of data about things that probably don't exist.
Well, this is the right time to do this too, with all the Godzilla and Kong and Titan activity that we're seeing in the films. And I just had a conversation with Matt Fraction about the Monarch television series that was streaming on Apple. So I think this is certainly good timing. You know, so it's just a graphic novel then, right? One whole graphic novel. How many pages?
100.
Nice.
Yes.
Very, very cool.
Around 100, I believe. Yeah.
And we are one and done, unless we want to do a sequel where Nessie comes back to life, gets murdered all over again.
Or maybe we want to kill someone else.
Yeah, you might want to kill somebody else. Absolutely, man. I'm very curious about the characterizations that you impose on the cryptids as the story unfolds. I mean, I don't know what you can tell us without spoiling about some of the personalities of the cryptids.
The Yeti, Bigfoot, and Yowie all kind of hang out as a group of hairies, and they like their real ale, and they are metal fans. And the fairies are really mardy. The fairies are really truculent and angry, and they like their Yeti flavored crisps. Potato
you
chip.
You can see some of this in our sample pages, which you can see on the Zoop website. If you if you Google Zoop and Nessie, that'll get you there.
Yeah, there's
we
lots
have
of
we have 5 pages up there, and I'm really, really proud of them. After, I have quite a long career in comics. Honestly, these are the pages that I am most proud of. I love them so much. Please go and look at them, even if you don't end up giving us money. Just look at them, please. I'm so proud of them.
No, I when Paul let me know what was going on, I was intrigued by the subject, and your pages look great, Rachel. Absolutely, man. So I certainly hope you guys get the crowdfunding for this. Jared has a comment. He loved your Third Doctor comic from Titan a few years back. Hope you can revisit that era as a comic again. Regards to your spouse this crazy Holy Week. He's a coach as well.
Thank you very much, Gerard. I really love doing that comic with Chris Jones, and my wife, of course, is having a dark and moody time this week because it's that time of year, Easter, for those who practice, and So what with having to do a million things as well, it's slightly bigger than Christmas for her, which a lot of people don't get. Anyway, yes, here to talk about the comic, but thank you for that.
No, I understand. I'm a Greek Orthodox, so my Easter is still a few weeks away this year. Every now and then they sync up with traditional Easter. So yeah, I can appreciate that. And yeah, Holy Week is pretty heavy in the Greek Orthodox religion as well. So I can appreciate that. Absolutely. That's crazy. Yeah. So Rachel, do you have a partner? What does your partner do?
Yes, he's an animator. Yeah,
And a character in your comic.
And character in Nap Comics, if you would like to, meet him. Yeah, my partner's called Rob. He's an animator. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, yeah, tell me about this Nap comic through Webtoons. What was your experience like with Webtoons? Because I do think it's an interesting platform. And, and again, not only, obviously you guys are using Zoop for crowdfunding and stuff. I think it's a really interesting time for creator-owned comics, that there are other options than trying to get a regular publisher interested in your ideas. So what was the Webtoons experience like for you, Rachel?
So I did quarantine comics during the lockdown as a kind of daily web comic about how I felt about what was happening, and that did very well. But I was just putting it on kind of Twitter and Facebook and my social medias. I really wanted, and I knew that, if and when I had a child, I'd want to make comics about that as well. And I thought, well, what was wrong with quarantine comics really was I didn't have a place to send people to. Like I would just go like, oh, look at my Twitter. And then there'd be like 15 pictures of my cats and then me having political rants and stuff. And they'd have to really scroll down to get to my comics. So I was like, well, just go to, and I thought, well, if I just put it on Webtoons or a similar site, then I could at least have that URL and I could just give them that and they could go on there. So that was kind of why I went on Webtoons. But it's been really fun since I joined it. I'm on Webtoons Canvas. I don't really know what that means, but that's what I'm doing. And I have 20,000 views and I have 100 and something subscribers. I think that's pretty good. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just sort of playing with it, really. I'm not really trying to. I still put it on Twitter and my socials and everything. But it's a very heartwarming, sometimes heartbreaking, sometimes usually funny comic about being a new mum and all that entails. And it's about my son Henry, who's 15 months now. And,
wow, nice.
Yeah, he's the best thing ever. He's nearly walking, and he's also nearly saying "mummy."
Wow.
I really want him to say "mummy."
This is a running gag in the script. The
running gag in the script is that he only says "daddy" or "digger," and daddy or digger or fish or turtle or sometimes panda, but not "mummy."
Oh, you poor thing.
I'm sure we'll get there. Yeah. But that's where we're at. But yeah, it's just about how being a mum is treating me, which is very well.
That's
I'd
cool.
love for people to have a look. Yeah, if you go to Webtoons and put Nap Comics in, Nap Comics with an X rather than an ICS.
Have you thought of this as an opportunity to tap into a different audience? Because it's like our friend Mike Norton really got into rescue dogs and created a webcomic about that. And all of a sudden, all these people that were into rescue dogs and didn't really consider comics really discovered his strip and everything. Nice. And, just was this other community that suddenly were like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know you did stories like that. So I don't know, are there, mother kind of circles that you can.
So I've been onto, what's the website that's scary? Mumsnet. I've been onto Mumsnet and I've put the comic on there. And then I've come out of Mumsnet and gone about my day because I find that very scary. The other thing about being a new mum, John, is that I have no time. So I kind of just put these comics out there, and then I have to go away and work on Nessie, obviously, or just do other things. Like I can't really. I'm very, very lucky and privileged in that I have a very nice agent who can deal with these things. When I'm ready to make Nap comics into a book, maybe I would love to do that at some point, but he can kind of do that for me. But yeah, I'm not really in a great place to be sort of going around. But that's a great idea.
But Rachel has been working like nobody's business to publicize the crowdfunder. I mean, we have different corners of the internet, but she's really been working her audience. I mean, wow.
Yeah, I've been shouting at them a lot. Hey guys, I need you right now. I don't ask much of you, but
well, I saw the site today, and you're about a third of the way there, right?
Yeah,
we're doing really well. We're doing so well, and I'm
it just started,
really appreciative of everyone who's supported us so far.
Yeah,
so
thank you. We're over 33% after two days. 2 days.
2 days. That's not very many days.
Are you offering any premiums beyond the book for people to, bid, help contribute a bit more?
Yes, I feel like Paul should talk about it because I've been wanging on about.
It's been great. Yes, we have. You can get a book plate that looks like a hotel register. You can get a remarked book plate with a Q, which I learned what that was about 3 hours ago, which is Rachel will do a little doodle, the individual doodle on it for you. You can get some original art from Rachel. You can come on a Zoom call with the two of us where we will just talk to you about the comic. And if we hit our goal, our stretch goals, that's what they're called, yes. The stretch goals are we will get postcards from firstly Alison Sampson and then Emma Vicelli, who will do our characters in their own unique styles. And then Rachel will get to put some lovely varnish on the cover to make some raised lettering and all that. But somebody's already bought a page of Rachel's art, which is fab.
Outstanding.
And the Zoom call as well, like you can ask us anything on that. Like if you want to make comics as a living, you can ask us how we got our start and stuff. You can ask our advice on anything.
And Rachel will be sketching live as we do the call.
Yeah,
that's terrific.
You watch me draw, which I'm very nervous about, but yeah.
I think that's wonderful. I love when people live stream, artists like yourself live stream and stuff. Are you all set with the overhead camera and everything?
No, not at all. I'm gonna need help with that, but I will get it and we'll sort it out. I'm not ready at all.
And at that point, I will be like the useless member of the band who doesn't appear on that track, making a live appearance, and I'll just be like, look, she's drawing now. Yeah.
Look at it.
Like Ringo on certain Beatle tracks, absolutely. It's we're gonna that's right. Paul's gonna drum on this one, Ringo. Don't sweat it. I can appreciate that. That's terrific, man. Very cool. No, that's great. What else can you tell me about the book that we haven't been talking about so far?
Ooh,
I know.
It's comedy. It is designed to make you laugh in a cute, warm way.
Sure.
And it's also, however, a proper mystery. And Rachel, do you want to tell them about some of the yokai?
Oh yeah. So my favorite of the cryptids that we're going to be talking about is the Tsukumogami. Which are these yokai, which are cryptids from Japan. I'm very into Japan. Tsukumogami are anything that you own. So like a cup, for example, that's 100 years old. Once it's 100 years old, it will get like a spirit that will just live in it and become a thing. And I love that idea that something so old, especially in England, everything's really old over here. Don't know if you know, John, but yeah, It's also why, like, a lot of Japanese people will throw things away when they're 99 years old. I'm just obsessed with this idea. Anyway.
Sure.
Yeah, I love that. So on the cover, I don't know if you can put it up again, but there's some there's some cups and saucers. Yeah, just near the unicorn there. There's like a cup and a glass. They're just like wandering around looking at what's happened. Those are tsukumogami that are just like, hey, we're alive.
And Lindsay is going to be like, I can't even drink a cup of tea.
Yeah, it's going to be like Beauty and the Beast, like drinking out of a cup and being like, oh, God, this is someone's son. Like, yeah.
That's outstanding. I know, again, it is these weird wrinkles of these cryptids. I'll use that word because I love it. And I mean, certainly kaiju comes to mind of how the Japanese describe them and stuff. Well, all right. Now, both of you being cryptid fans and kaiju fans, I learn a lot. I got all the Godzilla and Gamera and those kind of movies and stuff as a kid, Saturday afternoon on television and all. But I didn't realize. Oh, please go ahead, Paul.
Let me just interrupt. My son is just going to bed. I will go and do the bedtime stuff. I will be 30 seconds. Sure. Forgive me.
Okay, then all good. All good. Well, I'll ask Rachel this. Yeah. So, do you have favorite film depicted cryptids? I mean, and certainly we can include the Yeti and the Loch Ness and all, and Nessie and all.
Golly, all I can think of is like, wasn't Ted Danson in a film about Nessie, like looking for her?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm not sure. God, again, you might be right. I don't remember, and maybe someone in the community. We got a good number of people watching right now. Maybe someone will know what you're talking about. That I'm not sure of. I've loved it, of course, Doctor Who.
Other than that, like I love kind of Spirited Away had a lot of yokai in it, and My Neighbor Totoro had a lot of yokai. But yeah, I wish I could remember the name of Paul. What was the name of the film with Ted Danson in it, who was looking for Nessie? And also, was it Ted Danson?
I think it was Ted Danson. I think it was just called Loch Ness.
It was just called Loch Ness.
I don't remember that movie. That's great. Was that from the 80s or?
I don't know. I've
never seen it.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
wow. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Of course, the Yeti. We love them from Doctor Who, starting with the second Doctor and all. And I was telling you guys about Art and Franco off the air and stuff. I know Art Balthazar, massive Bigfoot follower. And really, yeah, very much so. Very much so.
So it was called Loch Ness. It's from 1996, and it was Ted Danson. There we go. There's my partner, Rob.
Oh, that's awesome, man. How you doing, Rob?
Thanks for watching.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for watching, indeed, and thank you for providing the info. That's great. Crazy. That's such. That's the kind of movie that I bet someone uploaded on YouTube or whatever, and I bet we can find it and stuff. So,
well, at the height of 1976 Kong mania, where Hammer Films very nearly got to make Nessie, which would have been sort of like Jaws in Loch Ness.
I love that.
There's even a poster, and they never got to make it.
Wow.
Is the poster like Jaws?
It's like just the word Nessie coming out of Loch Ness, all dripping like this is a big epic. Like Cleopatra, only Nessie. Yeah, they didn't make it.
Amazing.
Oh, that sucks, man. Yeah, that's too bad. Has Rachel ever been on the podcast, Paul, or any of the podcasts that you do?
You've never been on Hammer House of Podcast, have you?
I haven't.
Well, maybe you should. We haven't got long
maybe
left.
We
finish at the end of this year and then come out with our sequel podcast.
Ooh.
Have you teased what it's going to be about, or do we know already?
No, I have not said a word. We have not said a word. Fair
enough. All right. Excellent. Ooh. Hilarious. Very funny. Well, I may as well ask you guys some Doctor Who stuff. Rachel, what do you think of the new Doctor?
I think he's great. I think he's so funny and so warm and so what the Doctor should be. I love it.
That's cool. Did you have a favorite previous Doctor?
I loved Jodie. I really loved Jodie a lot. But before that, David Tennant was my doctor. David Tennant was the doctor that I got to draw for 3 years. So he'll always have a special place in my heart.
How about some of the older ones? Are there any interest in that pre Ninth Doctor era of anybody come to mind that really?
I liked Pertwee. Yeah,
sure, me too.
Yeah,
John's my favorite. The Third Doctor's my favorite Doctor. Absolutely.
Nice, but yeah, they weren't really my kind of time.
I understand. Oh no. Listen, and also truly, and as Paul can attest as well. Thankfully, by the Davies producing era and stuff, they finally put a real budget behind the show. And those if you weren't, I even remember in the 70s, because I'm old, watching Pertwee and Tom Baker, and as much as I appreciated the stories, those were shoestring budgets. And God, wasn't it the horror of Fang Rock? Wasn't that the little stuffed animal that they were kind of like, shoving at the camera and trying to make us afraid of?
I went to a fabulous panel with Liz Miles at me and Liz went to a panel at the last San Diego Comic-Con where modern day special effects experts were shown clips of ancient Doctor Who and said what they would do to recreate the effects for a tiny sum of money today. And it was fascinating.
I bet. That's excellent, man. Yeah, I'm excited. Although, and I am curious, how did you feel they handled the Tennant 14th Doctor? I still can't wrap my head around the mythology in terms of it's not 10, but it is, and just that whole.
Well, regeneration only ever makes the sense it needs to make, like everything else in Doctor Who. I thought those 3 Tennant episodes were really good, just incredibly well crafted. And then I thought the Church on Ruby Road was through the roof incredible. I was like, can you imagine being Ncuti Gatwa and being told, for your first few scenes, you will be on screen literally with the most popular actor ever to have played the role, and you're going to have to win this off him. You're going to have to draw focus. Wow. And he does. And just the relentlessness of him. That I am going to sort this out. I'm here now, and you're all safe because it's me. That's sort of a Tom Bakery thing that I like a lot. Yeah, and his happiness too. His basic. It won't last, will it? But right now, he's okay. He'll blow up a planet or something, and off we'll go, and he'll be all sad again. But
Well, that was the thing, to give him that kind of gravitas right away, and to almost be there for 14, who kind of was really just as he said, I'm just tired, and it's like, okay, I got it. I'm
genius.
Yeah, it really was
giving the Doctor a happy ending and yet continuing the show.
I am interested, and I am curious of what you both think. My only concern is having 14 technically still be out there. And also, as much as I love the idea of revisiting everybody that's still around and what they did with the Tales of the TARDIS wraparounds when they were showing the old episodes and stuff, I'm all for more appearances of the previous Doctors in any way. But I do worry a bit about, you don't want Gatwa's focus to be, or a group of fans like, yeah, that's great, but when are we going to see David Tennant again?
David did an interview shortly after that where he said, that was an ending, right? I don't think he's coming back anytime soon.
Okay, because it seemed like Davies was talking about maybe not Tennant, but some of the others that obviously would love to come back in some capacity. I'm thrilled that they're all on the comic convention circuit. In fact, I'll be at a show and finally meet Sylvester McCoy later this summer. And yeah, I'm thrilled. Paul's heard this before. Rachel, I got to meet, especially in the 80s when it was the 20th anniversary, and again, showing my age. But Pertwee, Baker, and Davison all came to Chicago, which was so great. And I got to meet all 3 of them in separate capacities. Oh my God. it was thrilling. Absolutely. I mean, again, we get it secondhand here in the States, but truly by the 80s, me and my group of friends, we were certainly well versed in Who, and very, very excited. Not only that, but we met the Brigadier and we met Tegan, and
Amazing.
yeah, it was, oh my God. So have you had the opportunity to go to any conventions and meet any of the doctors?
I've only ever met Jodie, and she was amazing. She was so lovely. Yeah, I love her.
Great actress, fantastic. I mean,
Yeah,
I've enjoyed her films as much as I've enjoyed her performance and stuff.
I loved her in Black Mirror. She was great in that. But yeah, and Doctor Who, she's just astounding. It's amazing.
So what other nerd shows, Rachel, are you into? What kind of
what other what? Sorry.
Nerd, geek nerd, nerd culture.
Yeah, I don't have a heck of a lot of time for TV.
Certainly now, yeah, absolutely.
We've been watching a lot of Rillakuuma, and not even with my son, just me and my partner. We love Rillakuuma, and what else have we watched? We watched all of Pokemon Concierge. That was really nice. We love like stop motion animation. That's what my partner does.
Oh wow! Oh
yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, he did like the new clangers and stuff. That was really cool. So we watch anything new that comes out that's stop motion. We watch that. Again, not even with my son. We're not even giving him screen time yet. It's just me and Rob.
That's great. That's great. No, but I love Nick Park. I'm a big Wallace and Gromit fan, certainly.
Oh yeah. Aardman is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too far from where we live. Yeah, that's nice.
Oh wow. Jeez. Yeah, everything they do. I enjoyed the films too, like Chicken Run and things like that. No, I'm a big Aardman fan. And also, I loved my favorite was the when they took the interviews with children and they had the claymation animals.
Yeah.
About being in captivity. So nice. Yeah, it was very.
There's some adverts right now about like TV, like families that are enjoying television together. It's very nice.
Oh yeah, they are the latest BBC continuity ads, little Aardman creature comforts of exactly that.
That's what they were called. Yes, creature comforts. Yeah. Absolutely. Good stuff. No, great stuff, man. That's excellent. No, I'm a real Anglophile. I again, secondhand. But in fact, I was. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, Paul. I've been watching a lot of old stuff from the '60s, and I've been watching Adam Adamant Lives.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
So for the audio audience and the video audience, if you don't know, it's imagine a Sherlock Holmes sort of character. This is made in the '60s, put in suspended animation, coming out in swinging London, thawing out, and discovering the new world, but still an adventurer. It's fun.
It's great. It was Verity Lambert's next show after Doctor Who, and it's kind of like the thing that Austin Powers is based on.
That sounds delightful.
It is, and it's Gerald Harper, who I met at a cast party for a thing once, and I was like, "Oh, it's Adam Adamant," and he was quite old, but he was very, very sweet.
That's awesome.
Yes,
I love '60s British television, like when the Avengers was still with Honor Blackman, and it really is this live action performance that they're filming. And I do. I mean, I'm a sucker for even 40s and 50s television here in the States. Kinescopes of the plays they would put on the anthology shows, and certainly you guys had your share of kitchen sink anthologies and stuff, and those kind of stories. But yeah, I'm fascinated by that kind of live TV and that kind of blocking and trying to achieve that kind of thing on a limited budget and doing it live. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. I actually did a lecture for the Fortean Times Unconvention once about the connections between Forteana and Doctor Who, to loop it back to the cryptids, and so many. There's the Loch Ness Monster and the Yeti, and a few things you wouldn't quite expect here across Doctor Who that are referencing the real world of Fortiana. I think I was able to prove that Doctor Who is the first thing that ever talks about pyramids on Mars, and also the idea that there might be a reptile race predating human beings, sentient reptiles, seems to come to Malcolm Hulke and a writer of a cryptozoological book in the States just about simultaneously, because I don't think they can have been aware of each other. It's just too close. And so this is me talking about my two favorite things at once: cryptids and Doctor. I could just.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That really is absolutely. It's like and you're saying you truly think it was a coincidence that they kind of came up with this, because that's like it's one of my favorite things about one of the Alan Moore documentaries, where he talks about the steam engine and how even in different parts of the world they kind of developed the steam engine around the same time. And it wasn't like we had worldwide communication and everybody was aware what the other side of the world was doing. So that's interesting.
Charles Fort calls it steam engine time. He's one of the points in his book is that one of his books is that he's astonished that the Romans had everything they needed to make steam engines, and surely had seen pots boiling and seen lids rattling, and yet they never do it.
Interesting.
And they could have. They had everything, and it's just one of these little wrinkles in history. The Romans with steam engines. Can you imagine?
I think there's a book there. I don't know what you call steampunk prior, to throw it into ancient Roman times, but isn't it? I love that about a lot of the speculative writers when they do it retroactively, and they have the phrase of the jet age, and I forget what that kind of. It's like steampunk, but essentially it is that early 20th century or not even the jet age, the pre-jet propulsion age, I guess. When it's still prop planes and stuff, rather than the mechanics of steampunk and everything. No, I love that stuff. I'm fascinated by that. Really cool, man. Well, Who Killed Nessie is a Zoom campaign currently going on, and it's Rachel and Paul. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else we could talk about, guys. I appreciate you coming on, but
I feel we have covered the subject. Rachel, is there anything we haven't mentioned about the book?
Sorry, now I'm thinking about the Romans and steam trains. I mean, maybe they just didn't feel like they needed to travel. Isn't that the Thoreau thing? Like, he got annoyed that people came up with inventions and just used them for the sake of it. He was like, you don't really need to do this. Maybe that was part of it. They just were like, we don't need to go anywhere.
Caesar Punk. Yeah, Mike Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, who killed Nessie? Don't you want to know?
Yeah.
Write the book and then you'll find out.
Yeah.
Indeed. Who Killed Nessie?
Go on. Joe Hill saw this on Blue Sky and went,
yes.
You've created a comic just for me. And
that's so great.
And I immediately said, can I quote you on that? He said, yes, if you give me a copy. So I've arranged it.
That's
Joe
terrific.
Hill's a fan. Rihanna Pratchett's a fan. So many people are fans. Please have a look at the Zoop site and
Google Zoop and Nessie and you'll find the page.
Yep.
And help support this great idea. I think it's wonderful, and really happy to talk to you guys. Rachel, lovely to meet you.
You too.
Absolutely, and truly, tell me about future projects, and I'd love to have you back on because I want to. It's so wonderful. And Paul, as always, a pleasure, and I'm glad you made me aware of this. This is terrific. So good
Thank
luck.
you so much.
There's still plenty of time, everybody, and they're a third of the way there. So they could certainly use your help. Google.
Yeah, we're doing well, but yeah, we could use some help.
Sure. Google Zoop and Google Nessie, and you'll find the page, and you'll be able to support Who Killed Nessie. So good luck to you both. Continued success. A pleasure meeting you, Rachel. Paul, always great to talk. And I look forward to our next conversation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And everybody, next week's going to be a full week of Word Balloon Live. I hope you'll join me. I was supposed to talk to Alex Segura tonight about the new Dick Tracy comic, but he had to postpone. So we're going to talk next Thursday. But it's going to be a full week of Word Balloon Live next week. I hope you'll join us then. Until then, everybody stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy.